session is called Inspiring Growth and Success Through Food Security in Ugpi'ganjig. Sorry if I butchered that. So the Eel River First Nations in New Brunswick welcomes participants while they share their work of providing community members with an eco-friendly greenhouse. In partnership with Digital Migma, they move closer to making this reality. So our speakers here today, we have Tyler Morrison, the Communications Officer at Eel River Bar First Nations. We have Sasha Lebilwa, is the Chief of Eel River Bar First Nations. And we have Amanda Kaplan, Interim Executive or Economic Development Officer at Eel River Bar First Nations. So I'm going to hand the stage off to you, and welcome.
Well, All and Ryan, thank you for the introduction there. I just want to be able to start with a precursor that unfortunately you see us both in the same office over here. We're not as affected with COVID-19 as the rest of the country right now. And that really leads us to us co-presenting in the same room right now. So I hope it's not too much of an inconvenience to anybody else. And then we'll get started with the presentation. So our presentation is named Inspiring Growth and Success Through Food Security. As Ryan was mentioning, this is a partnership in between Ugpi'ganjig First Nation and the Nova Scotia-based initiative that was created by Umaweg, Digital Migma. So we'll go to our next slide. Unfortunately, Chief Sasha wasn't able to make it today. So what we had done in her absence was make a pre-recorded video to present to the participants for today. And I'll put that on right now.
Sasha Lebilwa. Hi, my name is Sasha Lebilwa. I'm the chief at Ugpi'ganjig, or known as Eel River Bar First Nation in New Brunswick. We're here today to talk about the collaboration between our Economic Development Corporation.
Oh, I don't know what happened there, but we're going to go back there to try that again.
It seems like we can't hear the chiefs talking, so I'm going to put in something to our IT support. Just give us 10 seconds.
Okay, not a problem.
And if anybody on the ICE team for the backup support can help out, we would really appreciate that. 1 second, sorry.
Sasha Lebilwa. Hi, my name is Sasha Lebilwa.
And this is the part about technology that we worried about the most. We had a pretty seamless day, but of course, at our last presentation, I think the platform is even getting tired. So we have our backend support that's going to come on and get that fixed up. So just give us a second. We did do a sound check and everything was working fine for us just 20 minutes ago. So 1 second here.
Sasha Lebilwa. Hi, my name is Sasha Lebilwa. I'm the chief at Ugpi'ganjig, or known as Eel River Bar First Nation in New Brunswick. We're here today to talk about the collaboration between our Economic Development Corporation and Digital Migma. We want to thank them for this wonderful project that we have. Food security is an important resource, and it is so even more in these times of a global pandemic. I'm really proud to have our staff here, Amanda Capelin, who's with our economic development team, and Tyler Morrison, part of our communications. They'll be here.
Hello? I'm assuming more technical difficulties on the back end. So what I could do is just paraphrase what Chief Sasha had mentioned in the video. She was talking about how food security is an important topic of conversation and something that we actually took action on here in Ugpi'ganjig, and that's what really resulted into the creation of this project in collaboration with Digital Mi'kmaq. So what I can do is just head back to the presentation. Next slide, we're going to go into the introduction of Amanda. So Amanda.
Hi, my name is Amanda Capelin. I work with the economic development team here in Ugpi'ganjig First Nation. I've been with this team since December of 2019.
And hi, my name is Tyler Morrison. I'm the communications officer. I have been with the organization since May of 2019. And I've been working in collaboration with Amanda on the project for the greenhouse since November of 2020. So just a little bit of a backgrounder as to what Ugpi'ganjig First Nation is. We're the most northernmost Mi'kmaq community in New Brunswick. On-reserve population is at approximately 410 community members. And we have two major roadways passing through the community, Route 134 and Highway Route 11. We do have quite an expansive community. There's a lot of different sectors over here. One part is the shoreline area, which we have a lot of community members living, and we have our administrative offices located. We have another area where it's close to the Osprey truck stop. It's just located right outside of the highway. And then we also have the Aboriginal Heritage Gardens that's located on the other side of the river of Eel River. So with all of these ones, we have quite an expansive area. However, it's just a little bit more spread out than we expected. So going into the next slide, during the months of August, we actually received some information in regards to a greenhouse project from Marnie Fullerton. She is the director of Digital Mi'kmaq. And ever since then, there's been a small dialogue all the way up until around September, October that actually fruitioned into the beginning stages of our greenhouse. So just to get a little bit of details of what Digital Mi'kmaq is, this is under the umbrella of the Olneywick Development Corp that is based out of Nova Scotia. And Digital Mi'kmaq is a groundbreaking grassroots-built Indigenous-led initiative that aims to create lasting foundational changes for a new generation through the interplay of science, culture, education, and digital skills. And one thing that we've noticed through, and they also state on their website, is a lot of their work is grounded within two-eyed-seeing mentalities as well. So that does keep and harness our cultural significances whenever it does come down to projects. So moving on forward. And Amanda?
So our community garden project goals, addressing food insecurity, create meaningful, sustainable, community-based agricultural operations and jobs, increase access to local healthy foods, and educational programs for all community members. So including our goals, we're able to expand local, healthy, grown and gathered sources of food that aligned and extend community-based know-how, innovations, and cultural knowledge. Support and expand nutritional, educational, and communal preparatory food resources and programming. So the timeline of our project. So in July, we had got, we were notified that we were selected to take part in the food security project. So with that being said, we then had to identify the site location. Once that was identified, we sent in our soil to be tested. After the soil test came back, we were good to go. We started the site development, which included clearing out and leveling a 50 by 80 lot. Once that process was finished, we began digging the site to install the climate battery. The installation of the climate battery took approximately 7 days to complete. And then we squared up the site, put the anchor post, and we were set to assemble and stand the structure. Right now, with COVID, as well as winter approached us really quickly, we're kind of at a standstill in our project. We do have the structure of the greenhouse up. When it was time to put the panels up, the company had a hard time with it being so cold, and so we're at a standstill now until spring.
Yeah, so with that, what we're going to be continuing with now at this portion is community engagement, which is actually posed to start very soon, next week actually. From there, we're going to be able to identify some workers for that position, for positions inside of the greenhouse, and then also look into creating the administrative processes that are going to go into that as well. So one thing about the greenhouse actually that makes it eco-green is the process of heating up the greenhouse, and this is used through geothermal energy. So what they had done was they dug up, I do believe there was around 8 feet of soil, and they had to put in pipelines and not pipelines, but little venting pieces so they can actually naturally cool or naturally heat up everything, so we can have no carbon footprint in regards to like how we grow our crop over on our our greenhouse.
The climate battery consists of 3 layers of the coil that they run through. So that's, well, we dug so far down, and all that is going to get the heat up through to heat our greenhouse.
Okay, so moving forward. As we said earlier, we're actually located right on Highway Route 11. So it actually works in favor for the location of our greenhouse. So whatever we want to do post-construction phase, if we want to have anything of commercialized property there, or even like a commercial center where we want to sell food out of the building, we do have that option for ease of accessibility over there. And it does reside within our Aboriginal Heritage Garden grounds. And that actually poses another significance in cultural weight towards the project, because what we want to designate for the area is to have the community be its own source of culture and also education as well. So this is going to be the addition towards an already existing community garden site. It's just making a more permanent structure for winter growth and also administrative processes over there. So we'll move on to the next one. And amendment.
So what will be in our new community garden? The greenhouse, the earth battery, geothermal. So that's the climate battery that we had talked about earlier. The end house, it's going to be connected to the greenhouse. So it's going to be a nice area for storing and cleaning the produce before it goes to the food depot. And the food depot is where we will, it's going to be our distribution center for community and local members.
So here's some examples that Digital Mi'kmaq has provided to us for what they have of a rough sketch of the finished projects. You can see on top here, this would be the, that was the garden right there and the end house. They're actually both connected together. So whenever they do the harvesting of the produce inside of the greenhouse, they would actually bring it over to the end house, do the cleaning of all that, and before anything comes out of the end house, make sure that there's strict rules that the produce is cleaned and meets standards for distribution. And right down here, you can see the greenhouse. Oh, okay. We have one question right here. So what I could do at the end, Jamie, is we'll answer the questions for that, but that's a very great question. So this is a product of the end result from another site that they showed us for one of them. So the main thing about the project was we wanted to be able to inspire community driven growth. So what we're doing right now is we sent out surveys in December in regards to what the crop selection the community wants to grow. So it gives all the members the opportunity to be able to say, hey, this is what we want to go do. We want to produce corn, beans, etc. It really is putting the power in the hands of the people at this point. And we're also going to have the delivery of ongoing community-based food-related programs for all ages. So that can mean anything from bringing the students in over there to show them how these processes have started, show them the process of agriculture and how do you do the farming and whatsoever, even in the summer times too, because this is a extension of the community garden right now, and this is just an accent of that as well. So at the end of the project, whenever everything's up and running, we're expecting a job creation of 8 to 10 positions, both seasonal and full-time for this area. So whenever we kept on working on this, it just accents the visions that the community had for the Aboriginal Heritage Gardens. And the community garden project is to tie in with the existing classroom outside, because right now education has a designated outdoor classroom within the area. And this could actually accent those kids to go in there to learn about how food grows, the processes of that as well too. And ultimately the goals for the grounds is to become our educational and traditional land center. We host our annual powwow over on the grounds as well, and we do have a lot of community gatherings over there. So it really is a communal center for people in this area. And also, in addition to that too, there's a possibility of having a potential future site for a community school. So this just really brings it up into it brings it all the way back home about how much we see the grounds as a significant for cultural educational purposes. So we like everybody for their time to look at our presentation. If you have questions, there's also a contact information for our economic development over, but I also put the information for digital Mi'kmaq down there as well. I'll start taking a look at the chat to answer some questions.
Awesome. Thank you guys for that great presentation. There was a question from the audience in terms of, if geothermal, I'll read it here. It's asking though, essentially, if geothermal can be considered as a heat source, why is it not considered for the community and housing? Is that something that you guys had looked at a little bit more when you're exploring this project in terms of the opportunities that exist with geothermal?
Nathan, specific community. So it was just a matter of doing geothermal heating for housing units, right? So that right now we can't necessarily say if it's been looked into for housing, but that's a great question as well. What I could do is bring it up to Chief and Council over here, but ultimately this is a pilot project for something, and we're going to see the end results of what the processes over here are going to result into. So if it is overwhelmingly positive, then I'm pretty sure that's something we can look into, because definitely something to be able to reduce the footprint and try to take us on to at least a carbon neutral area. That's the ultimate end goal for that. Thank you for the question, Jamie.
Absolutely. So geothermal can be used to heat and cool your house. And actually, just sharing a bit of my experience with geothermal, we constructed a 150 megawatt wind farm located 32 kilometers in the woods, and our operations building is actually heated by geothermal. So the technology does exist. I think it's a cost, but we did get Nate, who shared an article that Peguis First Nation is doing in terms of geothermal for their houses. So you can have a look at that. And also I invite you to visit the ICE Network, icenetwork.com, to see if there's, to get some more information about this type of technology. So I'm going to ask Ryan to come over and wrap up our day.
Hi, I'm not Ryan, but I'm here.
Sorry, Maddie.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm here. Thank you so much for that amazing presentation. These are always amazing things to hear that are going on all over the country, you know, and it really sparks so much for me to be like, I gotta do better. You know, this is about do better. I gotta be better. So thank you so much for this important work that you're doing. I really appreciate it. Ryan?
Maddie and Ryan, thank you for having us here today.